Well, good afternoon. Happy Friday, August 12th. Mark Milam here, your mortgage professional with Highland Mortgage. Let's get into this past week. What happened in the world of interest rates and lending? Boy, we started out the week on our heels after that white-hot jobs report that came out this time last week. So this time last week, we got our jobs report, and we were anticipating that over the past 30 days that the economy had added about 250,000 jobs. That number came in more than double, came in at 528,000 jobs. Whew, well, that's great news for the unemployment number. Unemployment actually went down a tick from 3.6 to 3.5. That is not good news on the inflation front and put a lot of pressure on the Fed to potentially look at a 3/4 point rate hike come September at the next regularly scheduled meeting. As a matter of fact, when we woke up on Monday morning, futures traders were pricing in a 60% probability that the Fed was going to hike the Fed funds rate 3/4 of a percentage point come September. Now, as the week wore on, we got our most important report 8:30 a.m. on Wednesday. That's the Consumer Price Index. That tells us, are we trending down in terms of inflation? Are we holding steady, or are we rising? And as we all know, we're at 40-year high inflation in this country, and we finally got some welcome news. I think we've missed on every single report in a bad way up to this point in 2022, and finally some good news with the Consumer Price Index coming in below estimates, meaning not only the year over year, but the month over month numbers coming in below what pundits thought that they would. And that's great news. That's a sign that perhaps, just perhaps, the worst of inflation is now behind us. And even though it's persistent and pesky, that inflation is going to start to moderate as we move further in towards Q3 and Q4 in 2022. Show you specifically what we're talking about here. So when you look at mortgage-backed securities, this was last Friday, August the 5th. This is when we got that white-hot jobs report, and we saw mortgage-backed securities take it on the chin. Interest rates went up by a good clip. This is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This is what everybody was waiting for with bated breath. We got great news on that CPI report and saw mortgage-backed securities rally. They rallied significantly early and then tapered off as we reset expectations around perhaps just a half-point rate hike for the Fed come September. Yesterday, Thursday, and then here's today rather flat. If we take you down to the actual data, you can see here on the 10th of August, that's that CPI number coming in month over month at 0. I anticipated it would rise 0.2, and then the core, which strips out food and energy, coming in at 0.3 against 0.5. We got a producer price index on Thursday. That came in below expectations as well. That was certainly welcome news. So all indications are we are headed back down on inflation. Now, it's not significant. It's not a massive drop, but at least it's a move in the right direction. And we've had a lot of moves in the wrong direction so far in 2022. I'm going to shift gears this week and talk to you about something that has been a persistent problem in 2022, and it's something I've never seen before in my 18 years of lending, and that centers around what's happening with our credit bureaus. We're specifically talking about TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. And as anyone who knows, who's gotten a mortgage over the past couple of years, you know that your pre-approval or pre-qualification letter, it doesn't mean anything unless a lender can tell you, hey, we've checked your credit report. And we have to check your credit report against those three entities, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. Well, for the first time in their history, the first time that I've seen this in the past 2 decades, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax are now selling client data to, guess who? Other mortgage companies. These are called trigger leads. So these other mortgage companies buy data from TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax and realize that these people are shopping for a mortgage. So the credit bureaus are selling the information to other mortgage companies who are then calling our clients, any lender's clients who are seeking to pre-approve them, trying to solicit them away from the lender who ordered the credit report. Again, this is a massive problem for the industry. It's affecting banks, independents, credit unions. The credit bureaus, without express written permission from the individual or the lender, are selling that client's information as a trigger lead out to third-party mortgage lending companies. It's a massive problem with our industry. And within this post, I'm going to place information about opting out. If you hear of clients being solicited without their permission for a mortgage, it's probably because of these trigger leads, and the information for opting out is going to be contained in the body of this post or in the body of this email. For our purposes here at Highland Mortgage, we're going to simply start deleting out any contact information for our clients when we obtain the credit inquiry, and then once the credit inquiry is back, we'll put the contact information for the client back in our file. We're doing this as a measure to protect our clients against unwanted solicitations from lenders they didn't ask for any information from. Definitely a big problem, and it's a blight on our industry, something that's got to get addressed. In the meantime, if I can be of any service to you over the weekend, please don't hesitate to reach out, mark.milam@highlandmtg.com. Have a good weekend.